Blaze News investigative reporter Steve Baker has been deep in the weeds in January 6th coverage, and one of his latest projects took a deep dive into the life and testimony of former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn.
Private First Class Harry Dunn.
Officer Dunn has been among the first Capitol police officers to describe what happened to law enforcement on January 6th.
His powerful testimony describing violence and stinging racism laid bare the day's facts for history.
Harry Dunn is a hero for America.
Officer Harry Dunn is an American hero.
A superhero. He is a superhero.
We need heroes like you. At 6'7", you're in hand-to-hand combat with a mob.
Showered with racist abuse.
Fighting on January 6th, that was hard.
He was fighting back insurrectionists across the Capitol while being called the vilest racist names.
Wiping blood off of them, pouring water in their eyes.
They lied under oath.
They lied under oath.
That's right.
Lied under oath.
Former U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn is running for Congress.
And I'll protect democracy from more than just Donald Trump.
The AP projected State Senator Sarah Elfreth will win.
I just unsuccessfully ran for office.
His commitment did not go unnoticed.
It is imperative that we establish the truth of that day.
You are now officially part of the Biden campaign.
We must be absolutely clear about what is true and what is a lie.
There are people that say that that didn't happen. It's on tape. I think it's important to saturate Congress with truth tellers. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because I pride myself on my credibility, my integrity, and I don't conflate my story. Telling the truth shouldn't be hard.
We're not returning to the story of former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn simply because he's such a big, easy target. Sure, his lies about January 6th and his trial and congressional hearing perjuries are seemingly legion. But there are more current and legitimately new, worthy reasons for finishing our story on a day in the life of Harry Dunn.
Dunn is launching a new political action committee called Dunn's Democracy Defenders.
We'll go across the country, up and down the ballot, and elect Democrats and stop MAGA Republicans.
Officer Dunn is a force not just in Maryland politics, but in national politics as he works to get the Tim Walz and Kamala Harris team elected all across the country.
So, with the Capitol CCTV footage, we tracked where Dunn was every moment of January 6th. And it tells a different story than the one he's told in his own book. His congressional testimony, his 2 FBI testimonies, and his testimony under oath during the Oath Keepers trial.
I'm not one to speculate, so I like to stick to facts.
Let's revisit January 6th using Capitol CCTV footage and see what Harry Dunn really did. This is a day in the life of Harry Dunn.
Gosh, this story has fascinated me from day one. So, Matt, can you break down what Steve has found out now?
Look, this is a happy time to finally get this video series going again and get this out. We've been so busy doing so many different things here, but one of the first things I did when I came to Blaze was to find Steve Baker and hire him in part to tell this story that he knows so much about and has spent so many years, around and uncovering. And so what you need to know is that Harry Dunn was the hero. He was chosen to be the hero of January 6th. And his end of the bargain, right? His holding up his end of the bargain led him to be put forth as a nominee, as a congressional candidate. As he says, he lost that race. And the craziest thing about this, it took me a while. I mean, I spent a lot of time with Steve. I've seen a lot of these videos and spent hours and hours on this with him. And it took me a while to realize, because it doesn't sound true, right? It's like, Steve, really, this really happened? Why? Why is it hard to accept what Steve's been saying? Because what he finds out is this guy lies about everything. It's not just key moments in federal, trials where people end up going to jail for years because of him and others committing perjury and exaggerating the facts. It's the fact that he writes an entire book and gets paid God knows how much to write it, and it's full of lies. And it's the weirdest thing about it is a lot of the things he lies about, you wouldn't even have to. You know, it's like I came into work at this time. And if you watch this video, which you can find on YouTube and on X with the Blaze, you'll see the first part of Harry Dunn's day and how in his book about, you know, going to a meeting in the morning and some basic stuff, he just doesn't tell the truth. And it's on video. So, you know, what are you going to do with that?
Well, and so for a lot of people, I feel like they've said, I'm ready to just move on. They want to act like January 6th never happened. Why is this still relevant? Why do we still need to be talking about it?
Yeah, that right is a very, very important question, because people will tell me, and that, I mean, people in our industry and on the right in media will say, well, we don't really talk about this, is over. The audience knows this is still important. And the reason that our audience, which is so incredible, knows this is important and cares about these stories is because this injustice is ongoing, right? People are still being thrown, more people are being thrown in jail this year than ever before. This is still the narrative that is in the courts that they're attacking Trump with, and this will continue to be an issue right up until January 6, 2025, right? This is not going to go away. They made this the narrative, and the left doubled down on it. So telling the truth about it is still really, really important. And every day, like just in the last debate, right? I mean, they're going to bring up the January 6th narrative. So what people really hunger for is, give me something I can bite onto, right? Give me a specific story that I can really see the truth of what happened that day. And I think the wonderful thing about Harry Dunn's day and Steve Baker's day, because he was there that day as well, if you follow those two people on those two people on that same day, you get a real sense of the real story, like what actually went down and sort of the ups and downs of the day. And then with Dunn, as you'll see in this series, if you watch it, it's unbelievable what he got away with lying about. And he still is on the campaign trail for Kamala and Tim Walz today.
What blows my mind is so many people that were there at the Capitol that day, like Steve Dunn, have been held accountable in ways that they should never have been held accountable. People put in solitary confinement, you know, years now that they've been away from their families. Do you think that Dunn will ever be held accountable when we have evidence like this? Do you think they will ever actually do anything with it?
This is one of the most remarkable things to me. It really doesn't surprise me anymore, but every once in a while I do sit there and think, not a single legacy journalist, not a single peep from the government, the Capitol Hill Police. We know they're very upset. I mean, we know at the DOJ, they're also very upset at our stories. We know that for a fact. They're very upset at Steve, and they are prosecuting him even now. But there's not a single peep, not a word. No one has said anything, and no legacy journalist outfit will touch this story because they know that we have the goods. If they wanted to disprove this, that this man committed perjury and he committed crimes and put these other people in jail, some of these Oath Keepers, by the way, they were trying to protect this crazy Capitol Hill cop. They were in a line protecting him from the crowd and probably from himself because he was yelling and screaming at people. And then, you know, going on to lie about this day. He's not all there. And they ended up going to prison.
For protecting him.
Right. So I sure hope that in the end, justice is served. But right now, it does not look like that's going to happen.
It's going to. Well, and what's coming up on the website regarding January 6th? We have some other things coming up.
Yeah, so we will have a few stories about Harry Dunn coming out for this video, which is a series. It's going to go through his whole day on the Capitol, and there'll be articles associated with that. And then also, if you look on the there's a wonderful article right now. There's a profile. We keep on putting up profiles of people who have been persecuted, and we're just going to continue to do that and do interviews with them as well on video that we bring to our audience.